So this piece of artwork is about using a grid to enlarge an image accurately and precisely. If you look what we have here, we have a photograph of one of the boys in the first year. A grid has been placed over the top of it, and that grid has been enlarged to full or almost the full size of an A4 sheet. And then he's drawn accurately what he's seen in each box, and then he is able to add tone and extra detail. So what we're going to do today is, you have your photographs. We're going to take the photographs and we are going to do the first stage of the gridded enlargement. First of all, let's move that out of the way. So I'm going to take double sheet of paper. You take one of my images. I'm going to cut it out and stick it down. Now, those of you who are left-handed might want to stick the paper this side because you might feel it easier to draw on the left-hand side of the page, but I'm right-handed, so I'm going to keep it here. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to draw our grid onto here. Normally we would draw our grid in pencil, but I'm going to use a pen so it shows up more effectively on the video. For this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to do a grid which is 5 squares by 7 squares. Each of the squares is going to be 2 centimeters. So the photo is going to be 10 by 7 squares or 14 centimeters. And then when we enlarge it, we are going to double the size. So in other words, you go from 2 centimeters to 4 centimeter squares on the drawing. And finally, you're still going to have 5 boxes by 7 boxes. So if we measure across, you'll see the photograph is 10 centimeters wide. So we'll go 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 10. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares across the top. And we'll do the same across the bottom to ensure accuracy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So let's just put the grid on. So there's the upright. So there's our columns. So next we'll do our rows across. So as I said, we'll start from the top. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now you'll notice the last box on the photographs I've printed out is only 1 centimeter. So the size of the photograph is 10 by 13. So again, working across, I'm going to work backwards. So 13, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then we've got the short one there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we've got this small box on the bottom. So I'll show you what to do with that in a moment. So there. So as I said, what we're going to do now is we're going to double the size of this grid onto this piece of paper. So if that is going to be 10 centimeters, this is going to be 20 centimeters, and if this is going to be 13, this is going to be 26. So I'll just do the outline box. This is where you need to work very lightly in case you need to rub it out. I'm going to press hard, but only because I want you to see it clearly on the video. So start towards the top of the page. There's 20 centimeters across, and I'll put my measurements on. So we know these are 2 centimeter squares and they go to 4 centimeters. So we go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So if I put my numbers in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we said that was 13. So this is going to be 26. Make sure the ruler isn't at an angle and lines up straight parallel with the edge of the page. So be careful, because this is where you could make a mistake. So remember, that's 2 centimeters, so this is going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So if you look what we've got there, we've got box 1, we've got box 2, box 3, box 4, box 5, box 6. And because this is only 1 centimeter on here, it's only 2 centimeters on there. So let's work across carefully, making sure the ruler isn't at an angle. So I'm going to work across. So we know that's going to be 20 centimeters. So I'm going to put a little dot there. Let's just check that's 26. And it is. So again, so let's do our line. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Let's do our lines going up. Again, if it was me doing this, I would normally do a line as light as that. But because that might be a bit difficult to see on the video, I'm going to press hard so you can clearly see what I'm doing. If you press hard and you don't do light guidelines, you won't get as high a mark. It's incredibly important you put the dots at the top and the bottom to ensure they stay an accurate width all the way from the top to the bottom. And lastly, there. So finally what I'm missing is of course my little dots down here. So let's quickly do that. So let's start from the bottom. You could start from the top if you wanted. So we know the bottom isn't going to be 4, it's a short box, it's a half box, so that's 2. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, So that is stage 1 complete. We've got our grid on our photograph. We've got our grid which is double the size on our facing page. So now it's a case of doing our gridded enlargement. Of course, if you think in mathematically, it's not double the size, because if you imagine that goes into there 4 times, so the size difference is twice as big that way and twice as big that way, so it's 2 times 2. So this is 4 times the area of that. If we do a little comparison, these lines, because I've done them much darker, would detract from the drawing. This student who's worked previously, his guidelines are much more appropriate because he's worked lighter, and that's one of the things I'll be looking for. And then finally, stage 2, we are going to draw the outline of the figure. We're going to add basic details, but not much. We're not going to add any shading whatsoever. We are just going to draw what we see in each box. But that's stage 2.